Tag, mein Freunds.
Something of that nature, but yeah, it's
Ich bin
another
Chip.
day, another quarter, and another episode of Unlocked Radio.
Ich bin Chip und das ist Rio.
Dude, what in the...
All right, enough of the German. Anyways,
I can't follow any of this. It's
sorry,
just
had to pick on the Jew.
ancestral flashbacks.
Hey, Rio, let me get your number. Just check your arm there.
Yeah.
Terrible people. I know. I'm sorry. Anyways, so you guys are probably wondering what we're doing since we weren't exactly active on Facebook today. But that's because I've noticed a huge decrease in the number of people actually using Facebook. So
Yeah, really, Facebook is becoming the new MySpace. I'm really
Literally.
seeing it like it's
dead.
dead.
It's following the exact same trends, except the difference is you can't customize your page.
Pretty much.
I'm kind of wondering where everyone went. I guess I'm getting a little too old and not hip to the new wave of social media networking and all that crap. So, anyways, today's episode, we are going to be covering a beautiful, beautiful topic. A topic very close to Rio's heart.
Yeah, a lot of people of our age will remember a lot of the stuff from this genre at a lot of parties and things like that. It was one of the games that kind of bridged the gap. Or genres that kind of bridge the gap. Besides just, the FPS, like Halo and all that. Obviously, shooting shit was high up on everyone's agenda.
Well, this is what we're talking, the rhythm games is what turned arcades into a party hub.
Spoiler alert, he just gave it away. We're talking about music and rhythm games. So, a lot of different things, everything from DDR, which everybody pretty much synonymously knows in the arcades, and playing on those little stupid soft pads at home, to everybody playing Guitar Hero and Rock Band while completely hammered with all their friends while beer pong goes around in the background.
That was called my grad party.
Yeah, it's kind of like it kind of goes all across the board.
Actually, a huge cultural phenomenon in Japan. The major gaming industry out there is rhythm games and dating games.
That second part is kind of unfortunate. But,
A little bit. You got to think, guys are, always
so
constantly.
ronery.
Yeah, they're so ronery. But yeah, so the guys are always at work or whatever, or they're commuting or whatever. So, they can pull out their phone and they can play a little dating game and they can flirt with a female in the traditional sense where she is completely obedient and submissive, whereas their culture no longer follows that. It's kind of a little like, hey, I kind of want a woman to just do what I say. So the dating games work for that. A lot of females play them because they get lonely at home when their husbands are at work, or they get lonely on the way to work or whatever. So, it's kind of, the same situation for them. The rhythm and, dance type games, a lot of those are, the Japanese culture loves those so much just because, well, they like rhythm. It's kind of like,
It's something that can be perfected.
it's a consistency.
That's the
it's a
thing.
beat. It's something you can focus on, something you can perfect. It's timing. It definitely works on a lot of your skills that you need in everyday life.
Obviously, I've been in competitive gaming for quite some time, and for a long time of that was music and rhythm games, and I got pretty high up on that totem pole. The big thing about it is being able to have something that you're not necessarily competing directly against one other person so much as you are competing, like people like achievements and everything else and trophies and stuff like that. Now that's kind of part of it. You're competing against yourself more than you are your opponent. If you're in a tournament and you have someone next to you, then you're technically competing to try to beat their score. But at all other times, you are working to better yourself at all, and it's something that can legitimately be perfected.
You are your opponent. It's like when you play a racing game and you have the ghost race where you just race your previous times. Similar concept. You're just constantly trying to beat yourself. And I guess this sounds like a really odd fetish.
Right. Well, the thing is like when it comes to like speed running a game or doing a time trial in a race or playing an FPS or a fighting game or something, you can keep getting better and better, but there's no real definite best. There's no, other than who is the best at that particular moment in time, and even then, that's still kind of hypothetical, just based on what challenges have gone up to them. When it comes to a music or a rhythm game, there is a 100%. You can 100% a song. You can do it in guitar. You can gold star and hit every single note, and even then, you have your star powers and things like that to get that score higher and higher. In DDR and in the Groove, which is another version of that same thing, and there's also Pump It Up for the Korean aspect. But there's each song will have certain accuracy. You have your with DDR, which most people know, that's the easiest one to do. You have your perfects, your greats, your goods, your okays, your bad, your miss, and then the more perfects you get, if you get literally hit every single arrow and you hit them all perfect, then that is a 100%. That is the best you can possibly do. So now you have finished and accomplished everything you can with that song.
Then you bump up the difficulty or bump up the time or make shadow arrows or whatever.
Well, ghost stepping is really more about a lot of people think it's like, oh, just adding more stuff. Ghost stepping is all about keeping the rhythm and what works for you so that you don't lose any of that accuracy. There's times where you'll play a song and it goes to a certain beat or to a certain melody in the song, and then there's a lull period. Now you can either wait for that lull and then stomp and hit that arrow again, or you can do a ghost step pattern that will allow you to continue to hit in the same exact rhythm, which will keep you, which means that you're kind of going, you're like bop 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 bam and hit the arrow again, without having to hit
staying in a flow,
else.
Staying in a flow without accidentally losing points or losing score or whatever like that.
Right. And even if there are other arrows coming in at the same time, you can do certain ones where like you make sure that ghost step is on a down arrow because there's nothing coming on that down arrow before you go over and hit the right, things of that nature. It's kind of like when everybody starts playing on beginner and you see them start with both feet in the center, and then you can move your way out and then move up and then move to the right and then move down, things like that. A lot of people tell you not to do that when you start, but it's actually a really good way to start because there's so few arrows that it helps you keep a rhythm. When it's literally the arrows are just da, 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 it's easier to go da, back, da, back, da, back, da, back. It helps keep a rhythm going. Yep. It keeps you from going and then just jerking forward like you see a lot of kids do.
Yep. I remember my first time ever playing DDR, I completely forgot about the back arrow. So I was literally just left, right, forward, and someone behind me just kept tapping the back arrow whenever it would go up on the screen because I never pulled my foot back. So after a while, I got used to it because for some reason I decided, hey, I can start on intermediate because I'm not like a rookie gamer. Yeah, I completely different style of gaming. This was no Sonic the Hedgehog.
A lot of people do that. I myself did it. That's why whenever someone's like, "Oh, I'm not even good," like I'm nowhere near as good as you, is like you got to start somewhere. Everyone does. Like I honestly,
it's a different style of gaming. So even if you're good at like FPS, you have to get used to the rhythm. You have to feel the beat, which sometimes actually does help you out in other games. For example, Darksiders, you can combo if you hit the second attack when the glimmer hits your weapon. So as you're in the middle of a swing, if you hit the next attack during that little fraction of a second glimmer, which is time-based, you can combo in different moves, and you can make longer strings of combos, which do a lot more damage in a lot less time. Rhythm games are good for that. It helps build your hand-eye and foot-eye coordination.
Yeah. It's funny because there's a lot of places like that in certain games, like especially action-adventure games like God of Wars and things of that nature, where there's always at least one part in one of those games where you have to hit something at a certain time. And it's all about like timing. Everyone's like, all right, oh man. I'm like, wow, this is really easy. Every single time I hit it, I was like, all right, you have to hit it. It's spinning around really fast in a circle. You have to hit it when it hits there. And I'm just like, I'll listen for something, and then bam, bam, bam. I just hit them all three.
One of the games I played, there was like a pendulum swing. You had to like jump between the pendulum. And then without getting hit by the spike that was coming in and out at the next thing. So you had to like time it perfectly. Even Sonic the Hedgehog had timing moments where, the dock would move over and back. Mm-hmm. So you had to try to, make it onto that platform while avoiding an enemy that was coming over top of your head. What was that, Angry Video Game Nerd? When he was doing his Ninja Gaiden one.
Yeah, it's all
all of it time-based. Everything is timing on that. And a lot of people don't realize the timing and the patterns. But when you play rhythm games, dance games, Guitar Hero, etc., you actually get better at doing that, because you catch those patterns, you see those timings.
Yeah.
So it's definitely helpful.
a really big thing on it is, and now this may have started off because of playing like certain card games like Magic and things of that nature beforehand. I know with Derek, who's a previous guest on our show, his thing was Magic. One of the best people that's in, like, as far as Dance Dance Revolution, one of the best people in the community, which is also, he was pretty much for a long time, he was one of the best players he was the best player in the state of Ohio, the best player as well as the best player, like tied for the best player in the nation and the world. That gives you an idea of how competitive gaming is here in Ohio. We have a lot of it. There's a lot of really good players in Ohio.
While California and the West Coast basically take over the game making market, Ohio really doesn't have a whole lot to do aside from skateboard and game. So guess where all the competitive gamers are?
Right.
Magic the Gathering, some of the best in the nation are here. Skateboarding, some of the best in the nation came from here. Even musicians, we have so many.
I used to live
major labels.
I lived down the street from the Muscas.
Yeah.
for quite some time. I had no idea until afterward, but it's like I'm sitting there thinking, like, we're getting into skateboarding, and it's like, all right, hold on a second. I go to school with a Ryan Muska. Hold and I look at his bio and I'm like, there's no way.
Yeah.
I was like, how did I miss this?
Yeah.
And then Jesse Sinsack for JSAC snowboarding as well. He ended up going into the Olympics. He ended up being on the freaking Bachelor.
Yeah. Weird. I hate reality TV, guys. I really do.
Yeah, but he ended up being an Olympic snowboarder, opening up JSAC snowboarding. He taught me and my friend how to snowboard. And it's like, it turns out, like, yo, hey, this guy's pretty good. We're just snowboarding on like a random hill next to an old people's home.
Yeah.
So that's just because there's a really steep hill in there. And like, all right, let's go over to Brandywine and bust our faces open because we're still not that great. It turns out that he ends up going to the Olympics and coming back and doing like a steakhouse thing and raising like charity for like kids and stuff like that. And he has like this whole thing with his clothing line. He was in the Olympics. Next thing you know, he's in the Bachelor, and then people are taking his pictures and stuff at Cedar Point. I don't even know what's going on, but
local heroes, man. They're all over the place.
And from Ohio. So
Ryan Deerdeck came from Ohio. There's a lot. Ohio has a lot of boredom, guys. Come on.
Right.
If we focus on anything, we can do it. For example, one of my buddies, when he got back from the Air Force, he actually started playing Magic the Gathering, and him and I got competitive. It turns out that he's been one of the top ranked players in the region for like over a decade now.
Well, damn.
And I'm competitive with him. However, I can't even place at local card tournaments like around the area. I go to a local card shop and play on a Tuesday night. It's like, I finished 6th place. Well, that's weird. Go to a big tournament like out of state, and I'll finish in the top 10 almost guaranteed. And it's like everyone that I play with around here, I'm seeing in the top like 20. So it's really just your matchups at that point. But we're basically playing against the same people in the finals. It's like, hey, I remember playing against you last Tuesday at the local tournament. Well, same thing with, other games. Like, this is tabletop, of course, but, we go to DDR or any of that type of stuff. Like,
yeah. I mean,
we're bored here in Ohio, guys.
Yeah, the main thing, and the reason I brought all this up is just because of the fact that a lot of those people who are really good at those games, really good at the music games. Granted, a lot of them already started from being good at something. Like Kevin, who was, like I was saying, the best player that was in the state, best player in the thing. He started off. From what I remember, I mean, he was playing that for a long time. He played it probably from the very beginning, but he was also playing Magic the Gathering at the time. So he's into a lot of things that involve strategy and involve like taking your time to figure out how to get good at something versus having to do something really fast on the fly. He was still kind of good at that, like from playing soccer and a couple other things. But
practice may make perfect, but sometimes you have to sit back and analyze what you're doing wrong.
Right. So like a few of us kind of were good at a couple of things before that. So it wasn't like we were just awful at games and then got into this. Most of the people who were bad at games in the first place were still bad at music games. But those of us who were good at least one thing before that got really good at it by realizing that there was an actual ability to perfect it and figuring out how to go about doing that. By the time we got really good at that, it made other games that were more complicated seem simpler to us for the simple fact that like now you're looking at it as, okay, I'm assuming you just get into the mindset that there is a beat-all answer to any given situation if you just look hard enough and find it. So
sometimes it's not even looking hard enough; it's just looking. For example, a lot of people don't realize when they're playing like DDR and stuff. If you actually like videotape yourself and then you look at what you're doing wrong, you can actually watch and like just without even like you can half pay attention and you'll see hey, you missed this spot or you missed that, or and you'll figure out why. Like, oh, my foot placement's off. There's a little issue with that. There's a technicality. Like, you're doing something wrong and you don't see it because you can't see yourself.
Yeah.
A lot of my friends I knew actually put mirrors like next to their TV so they could watch themselves while they were watching.
That's just humiliating. I don't want to do.
I mean, it's really embarrassing, but you got to think like that's how you get good at things. Like, you see what you're doing wrong. There was actually a philosophical, response when I was studying philosophy. When people, were perfecting military strategies and stuff, they would actually have someone sit on a hill and observe their scrimmages and their practices, like watch them running these drills, and explain to them, like, hey, here's where you messed up at. You didn't catch this side. You didn't catch that side. You didn't, monitor this or that. Little tiny things that you don't see because you're in the action, you're not seeing because your peripheral is not 360 degrees omniscient. Well, yeah. Sims, you could obviously do better because you're looking down at yourself. But
right.
You can't do that, in real life. Command and Conquer. I know people that were actually in the military that run military strategies and playing Command and Conquer and stuff. They'll see a gap that they left open in their actual strategies. Right. So sometimes running those is, that's the perfection aspect. You have to see what you're doing wrong. It doesn't matter how many times you run it. If you don't catch that outside perspective, you don't see that error.
Right.
And DDR works the same way, and ITG, and I forgot the other ones. Go Move.
No, there's really a ton of them. Like, if you got a lot of them now, I mean, it's kind of it seems almost like a dead art nowadays, unfortunately. A lot of it is still just in the arcade or just on handhelds. There's a lot of big handheld ones. I actually, just because I was curious, I went and checked up some of the ones that were on Android, and they have like all sorts of different ones now for they have freaking AC/DC pinball rocks. I guess that has something to do with the pinball machine itself is going to be doing something along with the music.
Yeah.
Then there's Touch Mix FX, and I guess that there's like circles and lines going through and everything. And you're again doing all sorts of tapping on the phone in order to do it. There's Tunes-holic, which has a really huge library. Then there's Music Hero, which is pretty much just Guitar Hero on your little phone. You just got just the three thingies on the fret.
Yeah, so, same thing with Tap Tap Revolution.
Right. Then there's
which is what I have.
An odd one called Santa Rockstar.
All right.
Yeah.
Sounds like Brutal Legend.
Yeah, there's like no other music game based where you can just like tap your fingers to the beat of the awesome music while staring at a bitchin' rockstar Santa playing the guitar.
Santa with a mohawk. I would leave cookies. Hash cookies, but cookies nonetheless.
Yeah, and then there's another Bit Trip beat, which kind of works like interactive Pong with beats and music.
Interesting. I might have to check that one out.
Right, that one gets...
that's a little new to me. Never heard of that.
Yeah, you can use the accelerometer or the touch controls to move the paddle up and down the screen, and the beats actually come flying at you, and you have to use the paddle to bounce them back.
I don't know how I feel about that then. I'm afraid of people throwing things at me.
Oh, it kind of works because like it says like as you bounce the beat each beat back, and then the future beats they become more chaotic and difficult, making it's kind of like Arkanoid or Ball Breaker or something like that, but with directly related to music.
I'm actually gonna look that one up, and I'm gonna try to play it later. So let me.
And then there's they have Beats Advanced Rhythm Game, which is pretty much DDR for your phone. They even have the 4 arrows and everything else. Then you have Demon Score THD, which I guess is like some giant, like.
Oh, it's 99 cents. I'm not buying it.
Oh no, it costs money.
Not getting it. Sorry, guys.
The greediness of our generation.
I was gonna try to play it on the break and then just kind of let you guys know, but I'm not downloading a game that costs money. No.
There's another one that's like say in their top 3 for like Android games, music-based games, called Demon Score THD. So it's only THD compatible, which just kind of sucks for people who haven't updated their phone like the last year. But
get to updating. Updating's free.
Well, except for getting a new phone.
That's upgrading. That's a different story.
Yeah, upgrading. Sorry. I mean, the graphics are insanely awesome, and the unique aspect of rhythm-based combat it's from Square Enix. So that's also a nice little concept.
Which means it costs money.
It'll probably it's gonna cost money, but
sorry, Broke Gamer here, rocking my nice little Captain America shirt that was a Christmas present from my sister. Thank you, Krista. Thank you very much. I like this shirt.
Yeah, I still got the Freddie Nova going on. I mean, these are comic related, so
I didn't know Freddie Nova had shirts.
Freddie Nova had shirts. Yeah, we had the shirt to get this. This was given away on the show when she was here.
Oh, given away to himself by himself.
Yeah. Well, no, I already had one, but
oh, okay, all right. Different story.
One was given to the girlfriend, and then a couple of posters and stuff were given out on the show.
I was having technical difficulties while away from the area.
He was having technical difficulties. By technical difficulties, he means enjoying the shit out of himself in Florida. He's like, I was like upside down on a roller coaster. They're technical difficulties. It's technically a difficulty.
Hey, it's really hard to balance a butterbeer in one hand and a phone in the other while you're on a roller coaster screaming and like trying to wave for the picture. Really, really kind of a pain in the butt.
Yeah.
Yep, there's Tap Tap. Haha.
Yeah, Tap Tap Revenge is Tap Tap Revenge 4 right now. That is what they're on, and they show
that's the one I actually have on my phone.
That's number 2. That I really want to try out that Demon Score one, just because Square Enix and fighting stuff and having it musically interactive is kind of cool.
I can check that and see if that one costs money.
And then the number 1 that they have is called Citus. I'm gonna assume that it costs money.
I'm gonna assume so too, because it's from Square Enix.
Yeah, Square Enix. It's really highly graphically capable. So there's gonna be a lot of there's not gonna be free. Square Enix was doing all those deals over the holiday season where everything was like $2.99 instead of $12.99, but you never know.
I'm not seeing it. I typed in Demon Score and it brought me Battle Bow Shoot the Demons.
Demons, DM, the plural demons.
Oh, and that might be an issue. I didn't think it would really matter that much, but apparently it does.
Yeah.
There's Demon Apps.
I don't freaking know.
I got nothing. All right, Google Play, you need to update your shit.
Indeed, you do. Then there's another one called Citus, which I have actually played before. It's really, really interesting and weird. It's kind of like with orbs and things like that. But I guess humans no longer exist, and like the robots are the only beings left.
I'm already liking this.
So,
I'm half robot as it is, guys.
You're right. Well, it's kind of weird. Like, you have to help. The goal is in the game is to help preserve human memories by transferring them to robots through music. So, like, the human emotions are converted to music and transferred to be stored inside Citus, which is like a sort of hard drive thing. And it's like a really bright and really colorful game, and a lot of different like orbs going around. Some of you have to tap at a certain time when they get to a certain color. Some of you have to like.
Is there a warning that induces seizures?
Yeah, there's always a warning in every music game.
Okay, good. Then I need to play it. If it has a high risk of inducing a seizure, I want to play it because I like flashy, bright objects. Yep, like that. It never ceases to amaze me what they do over in the other room.
Yeah, I don't know. It's weird. Like the concept of the whole story, having to complete the songs, help preserve the memories of a lost species, is kind of weird. But the good news is like. I think it did again. Well, I think it cost money, but like unlike where you get like Tap Tap Revenge and stuff like that, and you get like 3 songs to start off with,
and then you can unlock more by either playing the game or just buying them.
Yeah, you can get the points and stuff like that.
I just beat. I played on the hardest difficulty. I beat all the music that I download.
And even then, it still has a pretty limited supply of actual songs until you download other packs.
Well, they have over 400,000 songs for free right now.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh. Well, I mean, yeah, still having to go and download this game. Like it came. The one thing that I like about this game is it comes, by default, comes with 94 songs.
Yeah, I have a lot of Attack on my Tap Tap Revenge 4 because for some reason I just like the way the beat flows with it, and it's good for playing. It's challenging, but not too challenging. And Chris, I'm just wondering if this is a new strobe light because I don't remember this one. I think this one's new.
It's specifically for epileptic seizures and epileptic crisis.
No,
epileptic crisis is a song.
I remember the one on that side. I remember that one, but that one I think is new.
It might be.
All right. It doesn't really matter. I'm just probably losing my mind anyways.
I want to. Like we have like all those are all like handheld ones, all on the other thing. So you can play it on the go. A music game is a pretty good thing to do when you're on the go. When you're sitting there in a car ride or something else, and you only have literally
unless you're driving. Do not play them while driving. I've made that mistake. No, I'm kidding. I haven't.
Right. While you're waiting,
I'm not that stupid, guys.
It's kind of cool just because it's something simple. You play one song at a time, and then that's it. That's all you have to worry about. The other,
that one's new.
I thought that one was old.
That one's new. The other one's not.
I remember that one from a couple episodes ago, like a month or two ago, maybe.
I accidentally turned it on.
Oh, that was an accident?
That was an accident.
Oh, I thought you did that on purpose.
No, it was an accident.
Oh. Well, anyways,
Yeah,
no, I remember the little strobe light underneath that one, and I think I remember that one, but this one looks new to me. I don't know why.
That's been there since the start.
Oh, well, it shows how much I pay attention then. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, we'll have to go on.
Stop checking your Facebook.
I'm looking for something specific. You'll see it in a minute. All right.
Women.
You just gotta wait.
Bald Jewish women.
No, it's gonna be something that we have to talk about later on in the second half of the episode.
Oh, we gotta talk.
Oh, it's gonna be real quick. Just a real quick tidbit, but it works into the theme of today, and I didn't even realize it.
We have a theme, apparently.
We have a theme: music and rhythm-based games. This is your
Congratulations,
idea.
guys. It was not my idea. I was drunk.
Well, here we are.
I blame Rio.
No, if there's something that's going to be coming up. It's going to be actually pretty local. Everybody that's listening to the show could easily attend it. Everybody in the studio could easily attend this. It's going to be a very specific event related to our theme, and it's very like the first time it's
Taco bar on Sunday?
Taco bar on Sunday is another one of those things, but it's not related to this. It's just related to things that we also enjoy.
Oh, well, I do like tacos.
All right.
And my girlfriend keeps trying to get me to go to Wendy's. I want Taco Bell. I'm tired of Wendy's.
So we went over all of the. Let's get back on topic a little bit. Went over
Sorry.
all of the games that we played on mobile ones. The Tap Tap Revenge probably being the most popular. That Citus one they have like on it was voted pretty high, but I don't think most people have really heard of that.
Yeah.
Compared to Tap Tap Revenge, anyway.
When it comes to mobile games, I don't feel like flipping through the damn game market every day. So I'm just like, whatever. I don't download games. And when someone tells me about one and they're like, oh, I really like it, I'm like, can I play it real quick? And then if I like it, I'll download it.
Right. And that's usually a good way to go about it.
I also only play free games. So like Tap Tap Revenge 4, is free. And by beating songs on higher difficulties, you get little coins, which you can then use to download new songs. Also, every time you beat a new song that it gives you another song automatically. And it doesn't take that long to download songs, like 10 to 15 seconds. Tiny Death Star, again, another game that, I was told to try.
Except that the newest update has a lot of things wrong with it, evidently, and a lot of force crashing and everything.
Well, it just takes a really long time to load on my phone, and then it asks me for my email address. And I just hit cancel every time, and it just goes back to the game. It's like, okay, cool, but why do you ask me for my damn email address every fucking time? It's bothering me. Anyways, Tiny Death Star, I'm at 52 levels now.
Tap Tap Revenge, it's grown a lot. I remember I played it from like Tap Tap Revenge like 2, or like Tap Tap Revenge 1 and 2, and there was like, I think maybe 100 songs total available.
Yeah, I've had 4 for almost a year now. Actually, I think over a year. No, it's been about a year. It's been pretty close. I think March will be a year. But anyways, I started playing it basically, kind of like waiting for my girlfriend to come outside because you guys know how women are getting ready and stuff. So I was like, hey, I got to find something to do for like 5-10 minutes, and I've already read through my Facebook news feed 4 times. Let's see what else is going on. And I just open up Tap Tap Revenge, play like 3 or 4 songs. Girlfriend would come down, finish up the song I was on. All right, start the car back up, get going. So.
Yeah, pretty good, easy way to kill time.
Speaking of killing time, we're heading to break.
When we come back, we're going to be talking about some of the little more intricacies of the music and get rhythm community, including how to get competitive in the genre, what to look for. We're going to move over to the arcade aspect and console aspect, because now that we talked about the Android portion. And we're going to hopefully hear from you guys, from the viewers, about what kind of games you liked as far as music games, what your favorite of all time and everything. And a nice little special thing that I told you that I was going to fill you in on. You're listening to Unlocked Radio. We will be back in 10.
I knew something was wrong when a little pretty white girl ran into a black man's arms.
You're listening to Morning Show Central Radio Network. Lakewood Computer, located at 14035 Madison Avenue in Lakewood, has it all. If you're in need of computer repairs or want to cut the cost of ink cartridges and printing supplies, count on Lakewood Computer in Lakewood, Ohio. Provide it all. For the past 5 years, Lakewood Computer has been providing you with a huge assortment of computer equipment and services at very competitive prices. Lakewood Computer purchases and sells pre-owned desktops, laptops, and related equipment, and they offer outstanding prices on aftermarket printing supplies, including toner cartridges and ink cartridges. With 29 years of professional experience, Lakewood Computer is highly confident in their ability to enhance your overall computing experience. Check them out online at joeslakewoodcomputer.com. That's joeslakewoodcomputer.com. Or give them a call toll-free, 855-580-0768. That's 855-580-0768. If you're looking for the best in musical equipment, recording gear, sound reinforcement, and more, Guitar Center has you covered. Guitar Center, located at 26635 Brook Park Road in North Olmsted, has the tools of your trade with the largest selection of music and sound gear in the area. They cater to your musical needs and have the knowledge to help you out. Guitar Center in North Olmsted. MorningshowCentral.com uses them. You should too. Need to know more? Go to GuitarCenter.com.
I know. Oh my God, I know what we're gonna do. Oh, it's so delicious, I can almost taste it.
If you're looking for the best sub shop in town, look no further. Hanini Subs, located at 7310 Lorraine Avenue, is the place for you. Stop in for a cold cut sub, cheeseburger and fries, wingdings and fries, and so much more. I can almost taste it. Hanini Subs at 7310 Lorraine Avenue is open 24 hours a day. Check them out on Facebook, facebook.com/burrito crazy. And if you mention MSC Radio Network, you'll get $1 off your meal. It's all good at Hanini Subs.
So damn good.
Yo, it's Woody. Now, I know a thing or two about women, and I want to help all the ladies out there take care of their men. Happy Endings Orgasmically Organic Massage Oil. Yeah, I said orgasmically organic, made right here in Cleveland. Now, no other product delivers this level of purity and performance. It's guaranteed to improve your overall experience and keeps that sensitive skin soft and smooth. Guys, don't be a tool. You're doing it anyway. Might as well do it right. Get your happy ending at happyendingsoil.com. That's happyendingsoil.com. Looking for reliable and affordable Shoutcast audio or video hosting? JWN Media offers complete Shoutcast hosting solutions for business or personal use. All plans come with full listener stats, custom web scripts for implementing your service into your existing website, full server control, super fast network, and huge bandwidth limits. A 99.5% uptime guarantee and friendly, knowledgeable support personnel dedicated to making your hosting experience fun and easy. With plans starting at only $3 a month, you have no excuse not to get a server of your own. Plus, with the option to add auto DJ and on-demand services, you can be confident your station will be all it can be. Custom plans are also available at their website. Simply visit jwnmedia.com and click the Shoutcast hosting link to get started right now. If you have a product or service, let people know about it. Get your message out there and advertise on MSC Radio Network. It's easier than you think, and the whole planet is listening. Find out how you can advertise. Email Chris at morningshowcentral.com. Oh, great. Not another farm bill request. Check us out on Facebook at facebook.com/morningshowcentral. Denying one farm bill request at a time. MSC Radio Network has just tweeted the following. This bowel movement won't come out. Check us out on Twitter at twitter.com/MSC Radio Network. User-friendly and ready to serve. morningshowcentral.com. Call the show toll-free. 1-888-668-0742. You're listening to Morning Show Central Radio Network on morningshowcentral.com.
This is President Barack Obama, and you're listening to MSC Radio Network.
Pete 99 Technologies. Affordable and reliable web hosting done right. Jumping from one web host to another can be frustrating. Finding a good web host can be unnerving for even the most experienced of web designers. That's why Uncensored Net Noise has chosen P99 P99 Technologies as its web hosting supplier. Established in 1999, P99 Technologies has evolved into a first-class web hosting provider. Its 99.9% uptime rivals many in the industry. That's why they offer their 30-day guarantee, no questions asked. For more information, go to P99.com. P99 Technologies will help you get started with your web presence with honest and expert customer service. P99 Technologies. Affordable and reliable web hosting done right. With hundreds of live weather products and layers and thousands of combinations, Weather Studio provides a professional graphics and storm monitoring solution without complex user knowledge and without the industry standard price tag of $1,000 plus broadcast systems. Weather Studio displays a plethora of critical atmospheric and geophysical data on an interactive GIS-enabled computer map. Get your free 14-day trial of Weather Studio at their website, weatherstudio.paulmarv.com. That's weatherstudio.paulmarv.com. You're listening to Morning Show Central Radio Network.
I know, oh my God, I know what we're gonna do. Oh, it's so delicious, I can almost taste it.
If you're looking for the best sub shop in town, look no further. Hanini Subs, located at 7310 Lorraine Avenue, is the place for you. Stop in for a cold cut sub, cheeseburger and fries, wingdings and fries, and so much more.
And almost taste it.
Hanini Subs at 7310 Lorraine Avenue is open 24 hours a day. Check them out on Facebook, facebook.com/burrito crazy. And if you mention MSC Radio Network, you'll get $1 off your meal. It's all good at Hanini Subs.
So damn good.
Lakewood Computer, located at 14035 Madison Avenue in Lakewood, has it all. If you're in need of computer repairs or want to cut the cost of ink cartridges and printing supplies, count on Lakewood Computer in Lakewood, Ohio to provide it all. For the past 5 years, Lakewood Computer has been providing you with a huge assortment of computer equipment and services at very competitive prices. Lakewood Computer purchases and sells pre-owned desktops, laptops, and related equipment, and they offer outstanding prices on aftermarket printing supplies, including toner cartridges and ink cartridges. With 29 years of professional experience, Lakewood Computer is highly confident in their ability to enhance your overall computing experience. Check them out online at joeslakewoodcomputer.com. That's joeslakewoodcomputer.com. Or give them a call toll-free, 855-580-0768. That's 855-580-0768.
Oh, wow. Language. Okay, he was PMSing.
You're listening to Morning Show Central Radio Network.
And we are back. Welcome back, guys. This is Unlocked Radio right here on Morning Show Central Radio Network, and I'm trying to play along with this beat.
Yeah, because it's the music and rhythm game episode of our illustrious gaming show here.
Is that what we're doing? Sorry, guys. I think I'm getting Alzheimer's.
I
Anyways.
remember exactly what we're talking about. Before the break, we were talking about the different kinds of ones. Some of our memories as far as going on with the music and rhythm game community and the different kinds of games that you had. We all play the DDR. That one was a pretty obvious one. We talked about Tap Tap Revenge and all the ones you have on your phone to help kill time and everything. We talked barely touched on as far as the fact that arcades was a huge thing of it. How many people remember going into the arcade when you
and
were
dropping $50 on a Saturday afternoon playing DDR?
Right, everyone's got their little quarter lines going up. You have everyone just hanging out. If your arcade doesn't have a DDR machine, your arcade is dead for the most part.
Yeah, that happened in Apartment Town. They sold their DDR machine, and they had like In the Groove, and they had another one, and needless to say, the arcade shut down like a month later.
Which is crazy because, like, I don't know, In the Groove is basically, for those of you who don't know, In the Groove it was another project, another 4-panel, just up, down, left, right music game, very similar to DDR. It was actually made by the entire staff of the company, Rockstar Games, that made In the Groove. They were all people who play DDR, and it's basically made to be the next level up. Is more technical, more difficult songs, also more Eastern, I guess, or more Western, I guess. It wasn't all the J-pop and K-pop and the songs that you're like, oh man, these songs are. I mean, DDR is fun, but these songs can get kind of annoying sometimes.
Yeah, some of them are catchy, some of them are really obnoxious.
Yeah, so it was made by people who I mean, they do like electronic music, so there's a lot of it in there. But there's also it's just more like Euro pop type stuff, if that's there, and then like trance things, and then it goes on to the biggest thing was that it was customizable. You were able to we ended up being able to, because the entire system was Linux based, and it was used the same exact engine as Stepmania, which is basically the computer version of people that would play DDR. And Stepmania was a program that allowed you to download the songs and step charts and play them and practice them on your computer using your keyboard. Now, that system was implemented into an actual dedicated machine.
Weird how Stepmania was on something you're not allowed to step on.
Yeah.
Just throwing that out there.
Well, that was the game that they used. What they allowed you to do was create custom songs. People will create custom songs for Stepmania so that you can play them on there and use your. I mean, you would still be using your keyboard, but it expanded the amount of songs and the genres of songs that you could use. Some people who like more scene rock type things, classic rock. People wanted to take songs from Guitar Hero, from DJ Hero, things like that, and make step charts to those. And like anytime you're listening to music, you'll tap out you'll find yourself tapping out the beat and stuff. That basically turned into the entire concept of the game. They even have like metal songs and things like that for people who want something a little more faster paced. And those became more difficult songs. And what happened was eventually we made patches and hack machines where you can update the graphics of the machine. We can update it and change the themes so that it looks different. You can have your own custom song list for your local machine, to the point where there are some machines that have thousands of songs on there versus like the typical just 100 or so that it had.
Yep. You could also, if you have a metal bar or like, a country bar, you could literally just do songs based in that genre on your machine in your local bar.
Right. A little bit harder for them to do. It didn't quite take out, but that was the original concept of it. Now, of course, the first In the Groove didn't have its own dedicated machine, and it was used by basically the DDR machines themselves. You could use a DDR machine that had like the first mix on it, and you'd have packs where it would have a CD and have a marquee and everything, and you put the new labels on, and now it says DDR Max when it comes up, and then you can put the CD in there and it has all the songs and everything loaded onto it, the new theme, and then it would go up to DDR Extreme, things of that nature. That was the 8th mix, by the way. They had pretty much one every year for quite some time, and then
yep. Can't play the same 10 songs every week for 5 years. That just seems stupid.
I think the first mix DDR had like 28 tops. I think there was 28 songs total.
But there was only like 10 you'd want to actually play.
Right, if that. And then you moved on. Then their second mix came out, and that had some really weird ones. Third mix kind of sucked, and then you had Third Mix Plus, and then had some really interesting ones on there, and a lot of our favorites. And then goes the fourth mix. Fifth mix, sixth mix was Max, second mix was Max 2 for the people who actually know those ones, and then Extreme was 8th mix. Then you came out with, then they had
Revolution, and
they had the mega mix ones that you would like have at the movie theaters that no one ever really wanted to play. Then you had Supernova came out when it finally when DDR finally picked back up again in like 2005, 2006. Supernova came and hit out, and the Cedar Point had it. A lot of big arcades had it. And you had Supernova 1 and 2. You had DDR X, and that one kind of sucks. But you have X and X2 that's in like theaters and stuff now. But it still keeps going. Still keeps constantly improving.
Well, it really confused me because at some point in time they actually came out with Dance Dance Revolution.
Yeah. You have the different console versions were different too. Then you have the Mario mix.
Yeah, that one was terrible.
But what you had is each one of them is you didn't have to necessarily the arcade didn't have to buy it themselves a whole new machine every time. What you did was you just bought a CD and pack from Konami, and they would give you the banners and everything that you would need to put on the machine to basically say like, okay, this is this mix now, and then you just load the CD into the hard drive, and everything would come up. The first In the Groove actually was just one of those packs that went into a DDR machine. But however, they did not have the rights from Konami to do so, so they had a nice hefty lawsuit on their hands.
Yep.
When In the Groove 2 came out a year or so later, they actually worked with Andamiro, which is the company that made Pump It Up, a little bit less well known, but you guys have probably seen it at Chuck E. Cheese and like maybe a GameWorks if you
That's
if
the
you
one I
have
was
in your
thinking
area.
of, yeah.
And it's 5 arrows. It's got the 4 corners and then the center. So basically, it looks like a DDR pad but inverted. That was the company that made that. They basically worked as that was technically a better built machine itself, but a worse mix. So that was that company, Andamiro, worked with Roxor Games to make an actual dedicated cabinet for In the Groove 2. And that was when the first ones came out. But unfortunately, very shortly after that is when the lawsuit and everything took place, and then Andamiro and Roxor both effectively died. But the good news was that, because of the way that Statmania and everything in the DDR community, it worked out, that it was able to live on its own. You still have the same old machines, but people would update it in their own ways. They put new parts and things of that nature, but the songs constantly keep evolving. To this day, there are still songs being made. There are still charts being made by people who actually play the game. So when you have contests and tournaments and things, you no longer have to use the same song list from like 5 years ago. Each individual tournament and each individual location can have its own dedicated song list that they can piece together and then upload onto whatever forum or Facebook page or event page or whatever, so that the people can download that, play it on their computer, and see what those charts look like, practice it, and put it and upload it to their own local arcade, and then they can play them there so that they can get ready for them at said tournament.
Yep. That way, it prevents stagnation. It also gives everyone the same time frame to practice. So that way, you don't have someone playing the same song for 25 years and someone else picking it up like a year ago, trying to play the same song. You don't want to do that, guys. You really don't.
Right. Now, unfortunately, with anything, you're going to have some of the same people kind of seem to get better at certain things.
That's because some people adapt faster. It's just how it is. Some people have more free time to practice. Things like that.
That's true. The best players of those games now are everybody has their own machines now. They just keep buying them because now they're outdated. They're a little bit cheaper to buy. Arcades aren't holding up, and unfortunately, the arcade community has pretty much died.
Yeah, not a whole lot of arcades in the area anymore, and it's very disappointing. I kind of want to see them come back.
I miss the days of being able to go in the arcade and hang out. It's not just because of music and rhythm games, also because of going out and playing Time Crisis, House of the Dead, things of that nature.
Yeah, walk into an arcade with a roll of quarters, walk out like 4 hours later, have had a blast, met some new friends.
It was a spring break used to be like the thing to do, was to go to an arcade. A spring break, because everyone's like, all right, we're all off school for a week, but we're not really like going anywhere. Like, especially
because
like
it's only a week.
Your junior, senior year of high school and stuff like that was always like really big to do. Like, all right, let's just go hang out at the mall. We'll go to the arcade. We'll all play some DDR. We'll play some House of the Dead. We'll do it. We'll walk around. We'll go grab some food at the food court. It's nice out. We go out, smoke a cigarette. If you guys did that back in the day, I'm not necessarily condoning you guys to do illegal activities, but let's face it, you guys all do it.
Yeah, so I mean, like me and my cousin, we used to go every Saturday. I had off work for some reason, and he would just take Saturdays off work so that we could just go to the mall, and we'd have Chipotle before. We'd walk around the mall a couple times, visit shops, maybe buy something, head to the arcade, and just hang out in the arcade the entire day.
Right.
And then if, the arcade's getting a little too packed, I will wander around the mall some more, come back, in like an hour or two. And that was our Saturdays. And then after that, we'd head over to, Space Invaders, and we'd play DDR, shoot some pool, kind of wind down. And
Space Invaders play to win before it officially died.
Yeah.
The thing is,
it finally got
pool hall too.
It became Space Invaders again. Well, it got bought back by the original owners, but they left the name on there. So it was technically Space Invaders again, even though it still says play to win. And now it's been closed for 2 years?
More than that, probably like 3 or 4.
Actually,
it doesn't seem like that long, but it has been.
It closed the year after I graduated. Apparently, everyone that went there was in my graduating class.
Yeah, I want to say it's been quite some time. I think I can't remember going there past like maybe 2010, maybe. But I really don't think so. Not since I moved back from Houston has it been open.
The last time I was in there was like late 2008, like December 2008, and then the next time I tried to go in there was like sometime in 2009, and it was closed. So
yeah, it's kind of unfortunate. That's really just arcades in general dying because they're not pertaining. They're trying to build like a bunch of redemption games because I think everyone's just going to come and dump a bunch of money into that. But really, one thing that business owners don't really seem to understand when it comes to arcades is that arcades are all about your regulars. You want people to come in and constantly keep dumping in a certain amount of money to do it.
Yeah.
Yes, I understand a more expensive game. You want to be able to make your money back on that faster. So you have a big dedicated Time Crisis machine. You're charging $1 a game, but nobody wants to play $1 a game or pay $1 a game to play it, because the thing is that most of the people you have coming in there, at least all the time, have a finite amount of money that they're able to spend for that day. They choose to spend it at your arcade.
And
now,
you're
are you
gonna-
going to give them a
yeah.
bigger bang for your buck or for their buck or not?
Yeah,
That's
you're
what it comes
going to
to.
charge them more because you want to make your money back faster. Well, guess what? You try to do that. Now they're out of money, and they realize I only spent an hour here. I can go, somewhere else and spend, my $20 a day somewhere else. And that's what they did. So arcades went out of business very, very quickly.
Right. The concept was simple. Give them more money to do that. But that's the other thing about music and rhythm games, because not only are you providing like a really good game that everyone can sit there, everyone's watching. It's a spectator sport kind of thing.
Yep.
So that's bringing more people in. They're seeing someone from out, like they're walking down the corridor of the mall and they look in, they see somebody playing the DDR, and it's like if there's someone that's actually good at it, they come in. There's like a big Guitar Hero thing or whatever you have going on. Those people come in, they watch it. They're interested, and then you have more people in there that play the other games. You try them out, and then it's also creating a soundtrack for the entire place.
Yeah. It is depending on how you set up the soundtrack, the sound system in the arcade. Some places would actually have
They're
it
still
so that,
loud enough though.
Yeah, some places would actually have like the speakers to play like music or whatever facing away from the machines, like the DDR machines and stuff. They'd have them in like a corner. That way, that was that corner. That sound came in that corner. Nothing else interfered with that. That didn't interfere with anything else.
That's another big issue. You need to have music and rhythm games. A lot of people who don't play music and rhythm games understand it. Even like people at home, when let's say like you are somewhere, or you're at a party, or you're at somebody's house, or somebody's at your house, and you're playing Guitar Hero at home, or you're playing Rock Band or something at home, and somebody else is trying to do something, and they're trying to, I don't even know what, like browse the internet or something, and you're telling you to turn the volume down. You're like, actually, my game is entirely dependent on volume, so no.
Yeah, you need to be able to hear, to be able to feel the beat, to be able to play it right. Unless you are literally just nothing but hand-eye coordination, which a lot of people are. I've actually had some of my friends play Rock Band on mute.
Yeah, and that doesn't really make any sense. I mean, you're hitting it. I guess you're trying not. You don't want to get too involved in the music or so involved in the music that you forget.
I didn't have too
or
much
get
of an
sidetracked?
I didn't have too much of an issue with the mute part until they started playing the drums, and then it's like, oh, tap 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 thump. Stop.
Yeah.
This is really obnoxious. It doesn't make any sense to me. Stop it. I'm still hearing this. If you're gonna play it on mute, like, don't play the drums.
Yeah, it's kind of strange. Before we move on a little bit, I want to just make sure we have enough time to mention this. One of the things that I was telling you guys about before we went to break is, and this isn't necessarily music and rhythm games specifically related, but it's to talk about music and video games in general. We actually are having the first ever North American conference on video game music is coming to Youngstown next week. Connoisseurs of the joystick will gather in Youngstown for the country's first conference dedicated to the music of video games. Now, this is a pretty big deal. Professionals from all around the globe will be coming to Northeast Ohio to opine in the industry. The study of video game music is quickly emerging as a legitimate academic discipline. Like they're actually there's an assistant professor at YSU's Dana School of Music, and he's a lead organizer of this event, and he is actually talking about how this conference is going to focus on how soundtracks for various video games serve to heighten the game's story, amplify the interactivity, position it culturally, or serve as touchstones for music in itself. So it works with music-based games and being able to interact with the music, and there it goes to just whether you're playing like an Assassin's Creed or something like that, and that music, you don't even necessarily paying attention to the music itself. When you're paying attention to the game, it's giving you that heightened sense of just of the thrill of the actual game. So there's a lot of that going on. You can check more details at the YSU's website. It's web.ysu.edu. You can check in there, or you can just Google the North American Conference on Video Game Music.
I like that they have a Link playing guitar, like a picture of Link playing guitar, and I'm just glad that they actually have it left-handed.
Yep.
So, which plays true to
Link is playing a left-handed guitar. They're pretty
Link is
smart to do
left-handed,
that.
except in every game except for Twilight Princess, and I think there was one more.
Skyward Sword, I don't think he was left-handed because you had to use the Wiimote and everything else.
Yeah,
like that.
that was Twilight Princess too. Because you had to use the Wiimote, so everyone's like, "Oh, hey, let's make him right-handed."
Because it works for more people. Yeah.
Yeah, but
when you really should have had an option. You
Yeah,
should have
there
been able to mirror him.
yeah, there should have been a way to do it, but they didn't.
Oh well.
Poor planning. I'm left-handed, so like I was really excited. You know, like oh my god, they're making a Wii game that's based around a left-handed character. I'm left-handed. This is gonna be awesome. Nope, they turned him right-handed.
No. But yeah, so guys, be sure to check that out. We'll throw links up on the Facebook and everything about the video game conference. It was posted on my wall by my mother, actually, who tuned me into it. I didn't even realize it. I was like, oh, crap, this is coming in next week.
They called Cleveland the Paris of the Midwest.
Yeah, the Paris of the Midwest.
So I'm not entirely sure where Eiffel Tower is, guys, but
it's kind of pretentious. Now that I'm realizing this is actually coming from Cleveland Scene, from clevescene.com. That's actually putting it that way.
that explains it.
Why they're calling them the Paris of the Midwest.
I'm really trying to figure out what Eiffel Tower is. Like, I'm gonna science center you. What?
Yeah.
It doesn't have the same feel. What, you shove a giant ball in their face?
Yeah,
I don't get it.
Key Bank Tower.
All right, well we're out of time apparently. So
yeah, I mean, I wanted to thank you guys all for watching the show. I want to thank Morning Show Central for making this all possible. As per usual, you've been listening to Unlocked Radio. Don't forget to check out our website, our youtube.com/unlockedradio, facebook.com/unlockedradio, Twitter at Unlocked Radio. Check out unlockedradio.com and figure out all that stuff. Catch the reruns in case anything else happens.
all that fun stuff. We got High on Sports up next, followed by everything in between radio.
Woo!
So
let's talk about all that football stuff coming up. Have a good night.
Enjoy, guys.